Okay, YouTube. So I looked into taking a hardwood floor out of one room and putting it in another, and I really couldn't find anything. I talked to some professionals, and they actually said that it couldn't be done because no matter what, you're going to break either the tongue or the bottom side of the groove. Now, these boards are tongue and groove both on the front and the back, the long ways, and at the ends. So what I found works. Start against the wall, those boards are going to break. It's not going to work if two rooms are the same size. The room we're working in here, taking the floor out of, is 20% larger than the room that we're going into. So we broke a handful of the boards along the wall, and then the next row I was able to save by using an oscillating cutoff tool to actually cut the nails and lift the boards out that way. But when you, that's impractical for the long run because I went through a blade in just 17 feet of board. So when you get to the point where you can actually work with a pry bar, what you want to do, if you pry up, you're going to break the tongue or the groove or both. You want to slide the board out, which actually can be done by getting your cat's claw or whatever it's called, starting about 8 inches from the end. Obviously, we're starting, there's no tongue and groove action there because it's a cut end. Start here, and we're going to kind of wiggle with we're maybe a third of the way under the board here with the tool. Wiggle, and already I've got about maybe 14 inches of complete clearance from tongue to groove. So work down the line and pull the board, wiggle with this hand, pull the board away with this hand. This is one of the longer boards on this floor. And so far, it's coming up without any cracking or damage. And when you get to the end, if you just keep prying, you're absolutely going to break this end groove. And if you push out, you're going to chip the corners of your pieces of hardwood. We're fortunate here this is a beveled piece. I'm confident this approach would work with any hardwood that's tongue and grooved. Just grab your board and pull this way a little bit, which works the nail enough where that tongue and groove connection is separate. Get in there with your pry bar. You're hearing the subfloor get shredded a little bit by the serrated nails, but that is a completely undamaged piece of tongue and groove hardwood, all four sides tongued and grooved, and absolutely no damage. So it can be done. It takes a little patience. Again, the trick is to start about 8 inches in, get your cat's foot under there, wiggle back and forth as you push out on the board. It will pop the tongue in the groove and just work your way down the line. Time consuming, but that's how you get a free hardwood floor. If this is helpful, give it a thumbs up. Thanks. Just one more side note in case you guys didn't know, there's a tool called an end nipper, and basically it rocks like the claw of a hammer, but it's pliers. Grab your nails, and there you go. It's that easy. Just watch, because when you come down, you're essentially throwing your hand towards a sharp nail, so be careful, but this is not that hard to do either. There might be a little splintering where it comes off. You either got to pick those off or pound them back in so they don't rest underneath your board and have reinstallation be lopsided. But end nippers, $7 at Harbor Freight. And I'm sure they have a $30 version from Sears, but these work just fine. So again, grab, pull. Nail comes right through. Shouldn't take too long, shouldn't be too damaging to the board. And again, if this helps, give it a thumbs up. Thanks.
Here's one more tip for you guys. I noticed this about halfway through. When you start your first board and get to the end, instead of using the technique I showed you to separate the end tongue and grooves, by pulling back over the floor, just start the next board, same as the first one, about 8 inches down and work away from your floor. You should end up with an entire row suspended up in the air like in the photo, about 2 inches off the subfloor and about 3 or 4 inches away from the floor you're working on. If you have a tongue and groove end piece, like in a doorway or something like that, you're going to need the technique I showed you. In this project, you definitely will, but this way is faster. It doesn't break boards any more or less than the other way. In fact, I haven't had much breakage at all. I'm probably going to end up with about 99% of this floor totally usable. But this just makes it a little faster. I find I leave my end nips at the end of a row and start at the other end, work my way down, and then pull my nails from every board, set them aside, and start the next row. This is just a little bit faster, so hopefully it helps.